2 weeks ago, a brief interview with the main cast of After the Hunt, Andrew Garfield, Julia Roberts, and Ayo Edebiri, was published by Arts Life TV. It's gone viral, with an overwhelmingly negative public reception. The interviewer poses this question.
In your opinion, what we lost during the politically correct era and what we have to expect in Hollywood after the Me Too movement and the Black Lives Matters are done? The two of you, Andrew and Julia.
Julia then asks the interviewer to remove her sunglasses and clarify who the question is directed toward.
Well, okay.
Can you repeat that? And with your sunglasses on, I can't tell which of us you're talking to. So
The question was for Julia and Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Now that the Me Too era and the Black Lives Matters are done, what we have to expect in Hollywood, and what we lost, if we lost something, with the politically correct era.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
And that's when she makes it clear. The question is only for Julia and Andrew. Ayo is excluded. The social media backlash has been swift and immense. Her comments have been flooded with criticisms over excluding Ayo and accusations of racism. On September 8th, the interviewer released a statement addressing the backlash. The idea that those criticizing you are also co-signing violent threats and harassment is just a way to deflect and to paint your critics in the worst light possible. It's dishonest. Ayo wouldn't have had the chance to thoughtfully respond if she didn't gracefully interject where she was excluded. Did you somehow forget this moment?
Well,
It's
I
not
didn't.
done.
Sorry. I know that that's not for me, and I don't know if it's purposeful if it's not me, but I just am curious. I don't think it's done. I agree
It's
with
not
you too.
done.
I don't think it's done at all. I think maybe hashtags might not be used as much, but I do think that there's work being done by activists, by people every day. That's beautiful, important work. That's not finished. That's really, really, really active for a reason, because this world is really charged.
Yeah.
And that work isn't finished at all. Maybe if there's not mainstream coverage in the way that there might have been
daily headlines.
in the way that it might have been 8 or so years ago, but I don't think that it means that the work is done.
Excluding one participant sends an implicit message about whose voice matters. Let's pretend for a second that you posed this question to all three. Your question assumes a post-BLM and Me Too America, that these movements are over, perhaps because the headlines have faded a bit compared to a few years ago. I think the backlash here shows that people still recognize structural racism and sexism are very much alive in America. The activism and discourse never died, just the 24-hour news cycle coverage. Journalism doesn't exist in some vacuum. It's public-facing, so people get to respond. What she's really saying here is that ordinary people like you and me don't have the right to call her out. That only her peers can criticize her. How convenient. Invoking feminism and immigration just feels like a weird performative shield. But proximity to people of color and struggle does not preclude prejudice. Racism isn't about who you know. It's about how you act and how you think. You can't "I have a black friend" your way out of this. And the cherry on top, the real racists are the anti-racists. Oh my God. That is straight out of the conservative playbook. It's the same framing white moderates used in 1963 Birmingham, Alabama, saying that the problem wasn't segregation or Jim Crow, but rather outside agitators or troublemakers. In Letter from a Birmingham Jail, King responds to criticisms levied at him by 8 clergymen. You deplore the demonstrations that are presently taking place in Birmingham, but I am sorry that your statement did not express a similar concern for the conditions that brought the demonstrations into being. While this interview clearly isn't Birmingham, I still think King's words carry a lot of weight. It is incredible how often white conservatives will steal from Black culture, history, and language to defend themselves from criticism or to whitewash the past. Aaron Rodgers quoted from Letter from a Birmingham Jail to defend against criticisms about misleading the NFL regarding his COVID vaccination status.
The great MLK said that you have a moral obligation to object to unjust rules and rules that make no sense. In my opinion, it makes no sense for me. I test every single day.
He framed his actions as similar to MLK's, simply resisting unjust laws, an act so utterly remarkable in its narcissism and caucasity. Taking language forged in the crucible of Black struggle and using it to defend fuckery. It's just a time-honored tradition. Or look at PragerU's so-called educational content for kids.
Slavery is as old as time and has taken place in every corner of the world, even amongst the people I just left. Being taken as a slave is better than being killed, no?
Bruh.
Or Ron DeSantis in Florida quoting MLK's I Have a Dream while banning Black history from school curriculums.
You think about what MLK stood for. He said he didn't want people judged on the color of their skin, but on the content of their character. You listen to some of these people nowadays, they don't talk about that.
The nerve to cherry pick content of character, not color of skin, to erase the context. King was literally calling out white America for refusing to confront and dismantle racism. And Europeans don't get to act smug about this either. France bans collecting racial statistics, claiming we don't see race, which conveniently means that they don't have to deal with the hard data on racism in housing, policing, and jobs, leaving people of color to deal with these harsh realities. In 2018, the UK deported Black citizens in the Windrush scandal after decades of living and working there. And Italy is infamous. Black footballers have had bananas thrown at them, monkey chants in stadiums, and politicians either deny it or just downplay it. Racism isn't an occasional slip in Italy or the rest of Europe, it's systemic, public, and ugly. Federica's exclusion of Io and her self-pitying statement doesn't come out of nowhere. It's part of a long tradition of denying racism while practicing it in broad daylight. A pattern that stretches far beyond Italy, frankly, all over the fucking world. Consider this short example from France.
And do people read your books in Nigeria?
They do, shockingly. They do.
Est-ce qu'il y a des librairies? Are there bookshops in Nigeria? Je vois.
You know, I think it reflects very poorly on French people that you have to ask me that question. I really do. Because, I mean...
Some things never change. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing.